Avelino Mendoza, Alfredo Mendoza, Carlos Mendoza. Son 4 desaparecidos que yo no los he encontrado por ningún rumbo.
Oprimido porque no nos mataban.
Y soy testigo de la verdad de estos 99 casos y por eso tengo todo el derecho de preguntar ¿dónde están?
El domingo a las 8 de la mañana, todo el mundo con su radio transistor, con sus pilitas nuevas, para no perderse la homilía de Monsieur Romero.
Viernes 31 de marzo, tenemos una pequeña oficina con el nombre de Socorro Lírico.
Aged 29, lay dead at the door of his bedroom. The women waiting at his office door gave the Archbishop an eyewitness account. Armed with automatic weapons, units of the National Guard had raided the parish house because they believed it was being used to train and arm terrorists against the regime.
Debe de prevalecer
International Day of Truth concerning gross human rights violations and for the dignity of victims, designated to recognize the work of Archbishop Romero of El Salvador and others who have dedicated and lost their lives in the struggle to protect human rights. On March 24th, 1980, Archbishop Romero was murdered. After witnessing numerous violations of human rights, he began to speak out on behalf of the poor and the victims of repression by the Salvadoran army. He spoke for those who did not have a voice. I was kidnapped 3 years after his killing. I was kidnapped by a special army of the Salvadoran, a special unit of the Salvadoran army that came to my classroom to kidnap me. After spending 2 weeks in the chamber of torture, because I'm a very lucky guy, I was able to leave the clandestine cell in which I was kept in the National Police Headquarters in El Salvador. I came to the United States and I began to fight torture. I began to fight impunity because I do believe that indeed the big supporter of torture is impunity. And these other human rights activists, and with the help of the Center for Justice and Accountability, in November 2004, we brought charges against Captain Álvaro Sarabia in Fresno, California, and we accused him of being responsible for the killing of Bishop Romero. This is a case so important because in El Salvador, just nobody has never ever been accused of the murder of Bishop Romero. We were there and the federal judge who took the case allowed us to, all of the witnesses to come and tell the story of Bishop Romero. Although Captain Álvaro Sarabia did not show up, the judge allowed us to come and tell what happened. After 1 week of listening to the witnesses, the judge came with an incredible conclusion, something that we human rights activists we were looking for. You know, oftentimes several dozens or hundreds of persons must be killed in order that that killing qualify as a crime against humanity. The federal judge in Fresno, California said first that the guy who ordered the killing of Bishop Romero was Salvadorian Mayor Roberto Dawson. And he said that because the figure, the role of Bishop Romero was so important into the Salvadorian society, the role that he played for the people, for the victims, his killing qualified as a crime against humanity. Archbishop Romero and so many others are honored around the world with the commemoration of the United Nations International Day for the Right to Truth concerning gross human rights violations for the dignity of victims, and we are here to commemorate now. Now, please welcome Simon Macacaya. Simon. He is the chair of the Eurasian Co-Group and South Caucasus Country Specialist, who will speak for a moment about Anna Politkovskaya.
People sometimes pay with their lives for saying aloud what they think. In 2006, less than a year after saying these words, Anna Politkovskaya was gunned down in Moscow. The courageous journalist, best known for her critical reports from Chechnya, unmasked wrongdoings by Russian forces and local rebels alike. Anna Politkovskaya's spirit lives on among activists in the former Soviet republics. Her message is echoed in an increasingly popular protest line that bids goodbye to oppression. Ты кто такой? Давай. До свидания. And those of you who would like to have a candle for the moment of silence, just go to AIUSA.org/candle.
Thank you, Simon. Now, please welcome Claudia Vandermeer. Claudia. She is the Southeast Asia Co-Group Chair and Co-Chair of Get on the Bus DC. She will speak for a moment about Munir bin Talib, an Indonesian human rights activist.
In 2004, well-known Indonesian human rights activist Munir bin Talib boarded a flight to the Netherlands. He was going to the Netherlands to enroll in Utrecht University to begin a master's degree in international law and human rights. He never made it off the flight. During the flight, he ordered an orange juice, and shortly after he drank it, he died of arsenic poisoning. Munir had taken up the cause of dozens of activists who had been subjected to enforced disappearances during the last part of the Suharto government, and he also played a significant role in uncovering the human rights abuses of the military in Aceh, Papua, and Timor-Leste. Although 2 people were eventually convicted of his murder, one was the pilot, Amnesty cites credible resources that believe that higher level people still need to be brought to account for this crime. It's now been 9 years since his death, and we'll continue to demand justice for Munir and his family. He left behind a wife and 2 children.
Thank you, Claudia. Now, please welcome Sarah Hager. Sarah, please. She is the chair of the Southern Africa Co-Group and will speak for a moment about Ken Saro-Wiwa.
Ken Saro-Wiwa was tried and executed in 1995 by the Nigerian military for his efforts to expose serious issues facing his homeland, the Niger Delta, a region rich with oil. Ken founded an organization using peaceful protest to hold the Nigerian government and oil companies accountable for land rights violations, environmental degradation, and physical abuse by security forces. His family continued his fight for justice by suing Royal Dutch Shell, one of the oil companies they accused as complicit in his execution and other human rights violations in the Niger Delta. In 2009, Royal Dutch Shell agreed to a $15 million settlement, the largest ever at that time, by the way, in favor of Ken and other activists.
Thank you, Ken. Now, please join together for a moment of silence in remembrance of Archbishop Romero, Munir bin Talib, Cero Weber, Ana Politkovskaya, and all of the courageous individuals across the world that have devoted their lives to the protection and realization of human rights, despite the many great risks that their work often entails on its International Right to Truth Day. Thank you so much.
Please join me in thanking again Carlos Maricía.